All right, what up, guys? Happy Sunday. Let's get already sent out the weekly swing signals. So we are going to dive into what we're planning on doing for this week. So we are buying the US dollar currency index. This is all on tradingview.com. All the weekly swing signal has been sent out. This is all the weekly charts here. So highly advise you guys watch this. It is your decision whether you choose to watch this video or not. That is on you. So we are buying the US dollar index, looking for the US dollar index, the DXY to hit 114. And then we'll see if it goes even higher back to close to 115 here off the wick at 114.8. So I don't mind all the horizontal lines here. I have it all set up for my own personal reasons. So US 30 going back down, looking to sell US 30, all the indices. This is S&P 500 and this is NAS 100, which is NASDAQ. So looking at a further move down for all the indices going back down. So looking for US 30 to come back down to 29,000. And then we'll see if it breaks that support price under 29,000 back to 28,000. And then we'll see where it goes from there. The next move down would be to break the support price at 27,000. Now that would be long term. Depend how fast they really drop this. They really drop the indices for this week and for the remainder of this month for October. Going back, let's see, gold, selling gold, looking for gold to come down. It is sitting at 1644, looking for 1620 to 1600. And then from there, the only other price to keep going down forward to would be, let's see, not off the wick here. I would target, let's see, the next support price on the weekly would be right at 1500, 1499. I'm talking about this right here. This is pretty crazy. So there is, like I said, the other one would be to break this right here, this little one, this one, which is like around like 1640, 1630. And then we come down and break 1600 and then down to 1560 and then 1520 and then back down to 1500. Now that's a lot of take profit lines that I'm going to be setting up, but I'm breaking it down every $20, $30 in value anytime gold has dropped significantly in the value of itself. So that's what I'd be looking at right for this week here, selling gold. Buying UJ. UJ has not given up its gains. US dollar to the Japanese yen. Looking for it to break 150 this week, if not even higher, back to, or even 152, or maybe 154, or maybe 156. Who knows? But the Bank of Japan hasn't really made a decision what they plan on doing to revive the economy. You know, like I said, their main exports is the automobile industry. And so don't get too caught up here. Japan is taking a really deep dive in their currency. Who knows when they plan on reviving their own currency at this point. Asset purchases, bond purchases, the equity markets are losing so much for the economic side for the Bank of Japan. So not for sure. But on that, US dollar to Japanese yen, the UJ pair here is going to keep going up. I don't foresee this thing stopping anytime soon unless something major happens to the US dollar index. Then, we could probably end up scalping a sell down. That's what I would recommend, is looking for a retracement to scalp a sell, not to hold a long-term sell, like swinging, for 3, 6, 9 months. It ain't gonna happen. I mean, this thing has been up since the beginning of 2021, and it is still rising even higher and higher. So just when you think this pair is gonna drop, it hasn't dropped. Talking a lot about this pair because a lot of people have been saying this pair is overbought. It doesn't matter what the indicator says. I don't care what the indicator says. A lot of people follow indicators. I'm not following the indicators. The price has not given up its gains. The price is still soaring, skyrocketing. So just be mindful of this pair. Don't get too caught up on this pair because this isn't my go-to pair anymore. This is not my favorite pair. It if I were to see maybe a possible move to sell back down, that is it. I am not in a I'm not in any um I wouldn't be in a buy mode because it's not my go-to. I mean, yes, we are buying this pair, but I wouldn't go too crazy stacking on buying positions on this pair. Okay, you guys know what I'm saying? Because it's been at a really peak high. It probably would end up peaking even higher. So just be careful. Europe going back down. Look for Europe break down to 96 to 95, and then the final TP would be 94. And we'll see how much more it's going to keep going down. Euro has fallen. Europe is facing economic crisis. That's the easy way I can say. I mean, obviously they're trying to deny that they're trying to revive the economy, but not when their own currency has lost under the dollar. That's the easiest way, right? Euro is always above the US dollar currency value, and it's under its own value against the US dollar. So what does that tell you? Another financial crisis for the European Central Bank, and who knows what's going to happen with the country of Europe as the cost of goods and services are still skyrocketing over there, guys. Euro GBP, we're gonna be buying Euro GBP. The Euro British Pound looking for a move back up to 87, 500, and then maybe possible move up to 90. Now, I'm not sure about this week, but that would be the next move there. But yeah, 87, 88, 89, and 90. So we'll see how much more further this thing keeps going. It like I said, what was it 2 weeks ago? This thing was a massive move back up to 90, almost 93, man. That is freaking nuts. I can't even create it. It is nuts, man. This is probably one of the craziest pairs I've seen this year. So the pound, another crazy pair to pay attention to. Who knows what the UK is going to be doing this week or this next week, because the pound is still falling down. The pound is kind of like relatively to the same similar currency value what the euro used to be, right? So for having it said for it to drop down to 103, I'm looking for it to drop down even further, um, even past $1.03 in its value here. So I'm expecting for this pair to keep dropping back down. It's sitting at 111, looking for it to sell in back down to 110, 108, and 106. So I'm just breaking it down every 2,000 pips here. Now, obviously, can you catch 2,000 pips off this pair? You sure can. I mean, 2 weeks ago was a spark of volatility when the pound dropped to its lowest. We're talking 2 weeks ago. We're talking at the beginning of October. So just be just be mindful where this pair is going, but overall it is still on a downtrend. If you like to use downtrend, trend lines, I apologize. If you like to use the trend lines, use it on the weekly. I like using it on the weekly charts because you get to spot your weekly trends, what's being breaking out and what's not being broken. And so here, let me highlight this. That way it's easy for you guys. So let's say we did a trend line for here, right? It's already broken this, right? And it's been going down, right? And if we were to draw, I can't go off of what happened there, but I'm going off the wick here. If we were to just keep going, I mean, this thing has not even come back to break. So I wouldn't tie this pinpoint anymore. I would tie this pinpoint. Whoop. I should probably make a video on this. I apologize. I'll make a video on this. And we tie all the way down from the wick to wick, right? Wick to wick. Because this is a different angle. Always understand when there's different angles, I like to go off the first angle. I mean, the second angle, not this one, not the very tipping point here. And if we were to draw the trend line, you can clearly see that the pound has respected this downtrend angle and it's still going down. Every time it's retraced back up, it shot itself back down. So we know that the major resistance is right at 115, and we know that it is still downtrending ever since the beginning of this year. I mean, I'll make another video on this, but 2022, right? This is 2022, beginning of 2022. It was sitting at 138. Look at that. and it's now at 111. The lowest price so far is 103 this year. So what does that tell you? The pound has still got more room to keep going down. And just be careful, for those that want to see a reversal going back up. I'm not seeing this as a reversal price. If you bought at 103, you held it all the way up to 115, man, that's a good money, right? I mean, you can't even go wrong catching that kind of money, you know? So I will highlight the downtrend and using these trend lines on the weekly for you guys to really get a chance to see the long-term effects of using these trend lines. I don't really use them anymore. I pinpoint my structure from these two horizontal lines. So yeah. Let's go down. I don't want to get too caught up on making a full video on how to look at this stuff. I've made plenty of videos on this. So UCAD, we are buying UCAD. Looking for UCAD come back up to the wick here, the candle wick at 139 to 140. And then we'll see if it breaks 140 to even go higher. If it does not break 140, I'm going to sell it back down. I'm just stating, this price structure here because it did not go above 140 and ended up going close to 140 at 139.790 here. And then end up retracing back down. So just be mindful where this pair is still on an uptrend. So it hasn't given up its gains on an uptrend. But overall, we could see a possible retracement going back down, which I highly recommend scalping the markets. Okay. Australia and New Zealand significantly going lower and lower. They are the two weakest currencies so far. So going back down, we're gonna be selling both these pairs, selling the Australian dollar. If you guys didn't know, the banks of Australia, they were talking about this just a couple of days ago during the weekend, that people cannot take out their money or do any funding with their money, like paying bills or transfer any money, because the banks said there's an outage in the banks. Isn't that crazy? So this was in Australia. Isn't that crazy? You guys should probably read that up. But Australia's going down, looking for 61 to break 61 down to 60 and down to 59. The overall move would be to break 58. So that's long term. Or it could happen this week. I don't know. Who knows? New Zealand is already broken down the support price of 57. It is still going down. It's still respecting the trend line going down. Downtrending for sure. We are still looking for it to break down a new low price of 54 to 53. And we'll see where it goes from there. I mean, obviously this wick back here has a set at 54.7, but it's already broken this price support, the support price way back, 2 weeks ago. So we'll see how much, like I said, we'll see how much more they're going to drive this pair down. New Zealand is by far the weakest pair. And then the second weakest pair is Australian dollar. Okay, so they go hand in hand. That's the easy way I can say it. Our net. I don't think there was anything particular for this week, right? I apologize. Hang on. I'm just checking. Dude, bro. Stop. Wednesday, Wednesday, nothing. Okay, so we don't really have anything for this week for the economic calendar. And so other than that, stay tuned for I'm going to talk about trend lines and time the structure. That's going to be a separate video because this video will be way too long. I'm just here to talk about the analysis for this week. See you guys in the chat.